Sunspots, Chapter 2, Extinguishing the Flames. Luna leaned against a familiar shoulder as she examined the disease report. Secure stone walls surrounded her and the loyal Luna Knights. The emergency operations center deep inside of a bland mountain north of Canterlot, now fully operational after a day of transporting supplies. It still wasn't running at full capacity, but at least Luna could continue to assist her sister and co-rule Equestria without the chance of being infected. Any change? Shifting asked, the princess shaking her head.
Another few thousand infected. It seems the transmission rate has started to level off.
That's good, at least for now. Luna's expression then froze, her eyes narrowing as a magical parchment appeared in front of her. The word seemed to make the alicorn shrink slightly, and Shifting felt the usual stoic lunar princess shiver.
Celestia collapsed on her weight about a few hours ago. She's resting in the medical center now.
Luna whispered. Should I make ready for your departure? Luna paused, but then shook her head.
She's apparently stable and says that she's fine, just having some trouble breathing at times. If that changes, then yes. But considering the explicit instructions against such actions in this notes, no. There's nothing that we can do regardless. Magic, even my sister's or my own, has proven to be fairly useless against this illness, so my presence would be for support only, of which I still gladly give. But if necessary, I will be there for my sister.
I'll make sure everything will run smoothly, if you need to leave in a moment's notice. I do hope that it won't come to that, though.
As do I, Shifting.
As the sun crept up over the horizon, nudged along its path by a tired lunar princess, a large figure trotted down Canterlot's main streets. Towering over the ponies, every other glance directed towards the burly hippogriff was that of either shock, fear, or simple surprise at seeing a creature so far removed from their native lands. The large satchels that hung at his side bore the telltale medical cross, the red symbol standing out sharply against the brown containers and light green coloration of the individual. The hippogriff moved at a fast trot, dark green hooves and claws propelling him towards the castle in the distance. Oh, I hope I'm not too late. Synthesizing took longer than expected. Arriving at the main palace entrance, the hippogriff nodded to the guards, each of whom stared up at him for a good few seconds behind their half-faced respirators. Probably recruits. The guard was hit hard, judging from the reports.
Business?
One of them stammered, prompting a kind smile from the hippogriff. Definitely newbies. My name is Dr. Borealis. I need to see your head doctors immediately, he stated, prompting an unsure glance between the two guards.
The palace is currently under restricted access, sir. I don't think...
I don't have time for this, and neither does she. Crouching down, Borealis' ocean blue eyes looked at the two unicorn guards briefly, then gestured towards the door. Let me level with you two. Your princess is sick, if the papers are correct. However, I suspect it is much worse than indicated. Tell me this, am I wrong in suspecting that she's having trouble breathing? Maybe having a hard time standing? The shocked gaze the two guards gave him was good enough of an answer, but their silence prompted a frustrated huff to leave the doctor's beak. Look, I'm the one who helped create and sense the cure to you all. If I don't help your princess, she will die. I suspect she only has a day at most if her symptoms are that advanced. Now, will you let me pass? One of the guards spoke into a small crystal communicator, and judging from the wince and the garbled yelling from the other end, some pony was very angry. The words "get him in here" were definitely audible, even from Borealis' distance.
Yes, please follow me, and I'll take you to the medical wing. Do you have any credentials?
One of the guards asked, and simply stared at Borealis, handing over a stack of papers. There you go. I'm certified as a doctor, medic, nurse, all of the above, and then some in every major province, and I'm sure you even haven't heard of some of them. My official equestrian passport is on the top page. Now can we please hurry? I'm sorry, lads, but I don't have time to feel bad for your flustered state. As a guard looked through the items, the unicorn casted a brief anti-counterfeit spell, before he finally shrugged and handed them back, his compatriot gesturing to Borealis as the doors opened.
Yes, all looks in order. Please follow me.
As they trotted through the eerily vacant hall, Borealis took note of the antiseptic smell in the air. A nice gesture, but I doubt they have the potency correct. It needs to sting in the nostrils in order to kill the blasted bug.
This way.
The guard relayed, leading the hippogriff into the medical wing of the castle. The sound of sniffling ponies reached his furry ears, and the doctor frowned at seeing the packed rooms. That's the best that they can do. Hardly sterile, but for individuals already sick, it doesn't really matter in the end. Once they beat the infection, they'll be immune.
You're the one who made this cure?
A unicorn exclaimed, the smog-covered individual asking as he trotted up, a half-mask respirator in place.
And why don't you have a mask?
His words were now aimed at the guards. Helped make it, yes. My supervisor told Commander Sands that I would be arriving. As for the mask, there is no need. I can't get infected. Borealis relayed, prompting a soft huff.
Oh, immune to the element? And your supervisor said... well, that's the first I've heard of it. Now, what is this all about the princess being close to death? As far as we can tell, our treatments are holding the illness at bay, as far along as the infection is spread, at least.
Borealis let out a snort, following the doctor down the halls towards a private room after another guard took a look at his stack of credentials. That's how it would appear, yes, but in about 6 hours or less that will change, if it hasn't already. Your treatments won't work for an alicorn, and I'm surprised your supportive methods have lasted this long. The doctor frowned, gesturing to a guarded side room.
Why not? And why is this cure that you sent us not working either?
Borealis sighed, shaking his massive head. Because it was designed for ponies, griffins, any creature other than the princesses. The fungus acts the same way in all of them, but not alicorns.
Wait, it's not a virus? But under our microscopes...
It's a hybrid, a viral organism symbiotically living in a fungus carrier. In normal creatures, killing one eliminates both. You wouldn't know that unless you looked inside the lungs of a creature at a late stage of the infection. I doubt that you have examined any of that stage, though. It's not visible post-mortem either. It dissolves to a useless sludge within moments of death. Borealis interjected, seeing the doctor's eyes widen.
So that's why antifungals and antivirals are somewhat ineffective.
Yes, now where is the princess? Opening the door, the doctor gestured to the restless alicorn, Celestia clearly struggling to get comfortable on the large bed.
This is all quite unnecessary, Doctor.
She remarked calmly, but a definite breathlessness was audible in her speech. Quite the contrary, Princess. The infection has reached its late stage and you are quite ill. Borealis replied, setting down his massive satchels and digging through them, the doctor brushing a few cream and green head feathers out of his vision.
And you are?
Dr. Borealis, I'm one of the creatures who helped develop the cure my superior has been sending to you all. I believe you told Commander Sands that I would be sent here if things deteriorated, more or less. I'm also the only one here who knows how sick you really are. The Hippogriff stated flatly, pulling out a stethoscope. Now then, Princess, I have been cleared by no less than 2, or probably 4 of your guards by now. May I at least run a cursory examination so I can get an idea of how best to treat you? I will gladly wait until an in-depth verification is done, of which I imagine is currently being explored, before continuing further. Seeing one of her guards nod in agreement to the Hippogriff's statement, Celestia shifted upright with a nod.
Very well.
Placing the stethoscope against her side, Borealis listened as Celestia took a deep breath, his brow furrowing. Crackling, shifting, crackling, not good. How long have you been infected?
About 2 weeks.
Borealis's eyes widened. The Hippogriff immediately pulled out a large box from the medical bags, claws scanning through the contents. 2 weeks? You hide your pain better than most. How short of breath are you right now?
It's a bit difficult to breathe, but nothing horrible.
You collapsed in the corridor. I'd say you're lying, most likely to yourself. Most ponies are on the mend after a week, maybe 2 at most. Looking around, Borealis saw the guards watching his every move, and then it all made sense. She's keeping up a front. A mask even when sick. That's not helping me in the slightest. Pulling out a large syringe, Borealis examined the contents, the dual chambers holding a lime green and purple solution that would be mixed on injection. Alright, this is a booster to the usual cure. I'll wait until my identity is further verified again, though. However, I must say this treatment isn't exactly live subject tested. Celestia nodded, regarding the newcomer with genuine curiosity.
It is not often I find someone so well versed in such formal necessities, if not a bit unique in the approach.
Borealis shrugged, gesturing to his medical bags. I've treated enough high-ranking individuals to know the general procedure that transcends language or even species. There's a difference between a cursory examination and treatment. This is not exactly a by-the-book house call either. A royal guard poked his head in, giving Borealis the stack of papers back with a nod.
He's clean. A certified doctor, medic, and general nurse in basically every nation that we have a record of.
The guard reported, a bit of awe in his voice.
That's quite impressive. You get around, Doctor?
Celestia mused, prompting a chuckle. I've been doing this for a while, so yes, and don't let my youthful looks fool you, he said, then gesturing to the syringe, and then to the pony doctor watching. Now then, may I help? This will provoke an allergic reaction, but those symptoms will arrive within a day regardless. Depending on the severity of your reaction, I will need to work fast. Celestia's eyes narrowed at the Hippogriff's words, a hoof gesturing to the bags.
Work fast?
To save your life. Genuine surprise cracked the mask on Celestia's face, the alicorn recovering after a moment.
but I don't feel...
You will, though. This fungus and virus attack alicorn anatomy quite differently than any of the others. Or rather, a culmination of every other race of pony amplified. Lungs, muscles, nervous system, it's a debilitating combination. Unfortunately, I haven't exactly had any real-life testing on alicorns, for obvious reasons. Borealis' expression fell, wings shuffling slightly. However, I understand your hesitation. If you wish to wait until your symptoms progress to a later stage within a few hours, we can do that as well. Either way, this treatment will need to be performed. He then paused, sitting up a bit straighter. Feel free to cast a truth spell on me. I am not lying or hiding anything about my knowledge concerning this disease. Celestia's eyes narrowed, and her horn ignited with a brief flash as the truth spell settled over the Hippogriff. It would immediately inform the alicorn if any of his phrases were false or otherwise misleading. And I can only imagine this is the start of a beautiful romance between Borealis and Celestia. Love really does spread in some odd times. Anywho, let's get on to our lovely donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, Only One Thing, and Dash of Evergreen. Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, Crazy Color 557, Stu Hex, Sword Wither and Mordred, Omicron Library, Will, Chris Twinkie, Hadzaza, Riot Soul, Maverick, Iron Sky, Badass Waffle, and many more fantastic people. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.